Hello and welcome back to the top 100 maps of all time with me, BonBonB. I'm BonBonB, you're very, very welcome. Now today we have got the map which was not quite good enough to make the top 10 maps of all time, but was good enough to be the map that stopped every other map on the workshop being the map that was just not good enough to be, not quite good enough to be in the top 10 maps of all time. Yes, what I mean is this is the 11th best map of all time. The worst intro ever. I'm sorry to break your brain like that. But anyway, yes. Now, before we have a look at the map, I've got a couple of little numeric factoids for you. First of all, the approval rating for this map at 94.75% is the first of 5 maps to have this exact score, meaning that the 10th, the 9th, the 8th and the 7th place maps will all have 94.75%. Meaning that these 5 maps are separated on countback only. Now, countback is a very fine measure, a very, very fine measure. And if the votes are coming in a slightly different order, maybe this map would have appeared at number 7 rather than at number 11. Fine margins. We're looking at differences of 0.25%, and then maps that are separated within that 0.25%. It is such a tight margins. It's amazing. So there's that. So this could have easily been well within the top 10 maps of all time on another voting pattern. Maybe somebody came back from work late or went to school early or whatever. I don't know. So we got that. The other little factoid I want to give you is, speaking of 7, which was the highest place with that number, 7 is the number of creators we have left to see. There are 11 maps left to see. There are 7 creators, so there are a few we're going to see multiple times, maybe twice, maybe 3 times, maybe even 4 times. I'm not going to say. And I'm also not going to give any more clues beyond this point as to what is to come. And the reason for that is this. Let's say we're doing the map that is in 3rd place, and I say this creator has 1 more map yet to come. And then you watch the following day's show and it's not there. You know that that previous creator is the top performing map of all time, and you can probably guess which one it is. So from this point in, I'm not going to give any more clues, because by matter of elimination, you may be able to work out the best map in advance. You might already think you know, you might be right, you might be wrong. You haven't got long to wait. So let's crack on with the 11th best map of all time. You already know it's a 94.75% approval rating, and I know that it's Astraios by ZOSO. Now, it's a slightly older map. This one was uploaded in January of 2019. It doesn't require any DLC, but does use network extensions too, amongst 22 other items from the workshop. Talking about subscriptions in a moment, but let me just go through the basic numeric stats for you. It currently has, at the time of recording, 1,219 subscribers, 183 of which have marked this as a favourite. It has a 4-star rating on Steam from 88 votes, and I reviewed this in episode 615 of What Map, where I gave it 4 stars for aesthetics, 5 for detail, and 5 for gameplay potential. So, there is one other thing to cover, and that is, having had a look at the comments on the workshop, back in 2020 there appears to have been some problems. It might have been the network extensions 2 issue of the time, possibly, I don't know. But what I can say, if you go to the workshop page and you see that, there's also discussion and links to, I think, from Uncle Ron about a couple of deprecated, obsolete assets where links to new ones have been given as well. I loaded up the map and it's loaded up first time for me. So I've had absolutely 0 problems. So if you see all of that and you worry, then just feel a little bit more relaxed that if you want to play this map after today, I didn't have any issues with it whatsoever. There may well be, almost certainly will be, some floating vanilla rocks and floating vanilla logs and tree trunks, because the ongoing problems that I've had, but that's the same for everything, and we're just ignoring them. Okay, that's what we're doing. Right, so let's talk about the map. The start square is slap bang in the middle around this obviously start square intersection. I mean, you don't get much more obviously start square than that, with the trees cleared around it. You get in and you can start building quite happily without any concerns. We have a real network of spider's web almost roads going on here. Right, I'm not even sure which is the best path to take here. Let me have a little sip of my coffee. This is because you probably noticed I coughed early, didn't I? I'm sorry. A little asthma cough there. A little bit of coffee will just help hopefully smooth it. I think we're going to start over here. We'll come through this first intersection, bear left, check out this tunnel, then follow it all the way along to this intersection, at which point I don't know whether we're going to go straight on or take a right there. Either way, we're going to look to come down this way. I think we might go straight on because I want to check out that intersection as well. And then as we come through this way, we'll lead down into the start square. That's my plan, if I can remember it. So, okay, off to the edge of the map. Yes, so ZOSO, what a creator of his time. I'm pretty sure it's I'm assuming genders here, but I'm pretty sure, was it Peter? Peter, Central European, I'm absolutely certain. I don't remember whereabouts in Austria or Czech Republic or somewhere Central Europe. I'm fairly confident that's where they hailed from. And at the time, they were head and shoulders above everybody. They were just so good. It was unbelievable. I mean, just having a look at this very first intersection here. Just look at the merging first of all. Now, you could argue we would like to have 3 lanes for lane mathematics. You could argue it. I give you that. But look at the way that lane merging is still pristine to this day. Pristine. There's absolutely nothing to grumble about there. This highway, sorry, not highway. Brain. it's trying to talk when your brain is saying, try not to cough, BonBon. Try not to cough. But what's the slip road? There we go. This slip road, beautifully done. All of these are beautifully done. The whole thing has been beautifully done. And just a little nod to this as well. This little bit of terrain work here with the trees. It doesn't look like much, but actually that is absolutely on point. Again, you can imagine that a lesser creator, this would be janked up right against here. You might even get some unnatural cutting between just the way that the highway is cutting into it. That is, let's say, it's absolutely perfectly done. Yeah, we can see some. Is that floating? No, they're not floating rocks. I thought those are the floating rocks. They're not, just regular rocks. Keep going, BonBon. Keep going. Right, okay, down to the tunnels, which network extensions 2 tunnels will mean that we'll be able to see right the way through there. And if you were to jump into one of these trucks or cars, you get a fully rendered experience. It's a beautiful thing, I'll tell you. Beautiful thing. Hopefully there's no sign of tunnels underneath the water. I'm not seeing anything there. We see that sometimes where, let's do this. Come on, oh no, there we go. Let's do this. Excuse me, I'm just trying to... Why am I not going to underground mode? My hotkey is not working. There we go, hotkey's not working. That's the latest new thing. Alright. But you can see where the highway is, and it's deep enough that it's not showing. It also goes underground. Sometimes you see these highways just like dive in really close to the water, and it starts quite a little way back. Some people say it's still too close, and I will say it's fine. Okay, City Skylines, you have to suspend a little bit of disbelief, but so long as there's enough disbelief in there that you can just buy into it, then that is great. We'll come and have a look at these fields later, because again, we've got a slightly different way of field painting from the map that we saw yesterday. And remembering that there's no right or wrong answer, it's just, does the map feel right in itself? And I would say that this one's standing up really well, actually. So far, the fields looked amazing, the networking looks amazing, the river detailing is strong, and you know what? Still no floating rocks. Still no floating rocks. Obviously, I'm guessing they've not used any vanilla rocks. Look at the way the highway jumps from one riverbank to the other. And could we have gone straight on from here? Well, not really. The obvious route is to come across to this flat area and just jump back again. It's just inspired networking. We'll have a look at the rivers in a minute, but the rivers do look good, don't they? Oh yeah. And then down to this intersection, another tightly done, compact. I mean, this one does feel like it's been grabbed from the workshop. But even when you grab a map, an intersection from the workshop and just plop it down, it still needs working. You do not rely on an intersection being perfect. Just work your way around it, make the adjustments as you go, and it should be, with a little bit of work, absolutely perfect. And again, look at the merge lanes here. 2 lanes down to 1 lane, back into 2 lanes, and it's absolutely on point. Let me just have a little look. Oh, we're going straight on. We are definitely going straight on, because we've got a lovely little bridge here. Again, perfectly done bridge. Beautifully done. The few rocks on that little lump of land there just feels really sweet again. And then we'll fly on. We get a little loop back here again. Why? Well, because there's actually quite a big drop there. You have to, and I love those memes on Facebook and Twitter. Yeah, why would you do that? And you go, well, first of all, if you send a truck down the slope at that angle, it won't be able to stop. And if you send a truck up that slope with a full load, it won't make it to the top. It's all about gradients, okay? It's all about the gradients. Right, we're going to take a right at this one. Another very sweet, almost diverging diamond, but through via a tunnel. Almost. You know, see what I mean by that? Almost. Very nice. Oh, we've gone 4 lanes over here. 4 lanes, going 4 lanes down to 2 and 2, and straight on. There's some argument, I guess, here to say that it'd be nice if this lane perfectly aligned with that one. Again, in 2019, that was not as easy. Not as easy as it is with today's mod settings. Right, did we say, no, that's the way we came from. We're going this way. We're heading this way in towards the heart of the map. So yes, actually, while we're here at these fields and there's not much else going on around us, have a look at the hedgerow work here. Perfectly straight, maybe done originally with a prop line tool, possibly along here, and then dotting the trees along the way, possibly. Or maybe they maybe put a road down, put the trees over the road using anarchy settings, and then remove the road. I don't know what system they've used there, but again, these, I mean, is it strictly a field? Is it strictly a hedge? Well, no, it's not going to keep the animals in, but aesthetically, it has a different vibe from the last map where we saw just a prop line with the equidistant and it was clean and crisp and tidy. This one, it's more aesthetic. Basically the same, Uses more trees to do so, so you have got that going against you. But yeah, there's just different things you can learn from different creators, and you can look at a ZOSO hedge like that and say, that's exactly how I want my hedges, and you can learn from them and recreate their work, or you can recreate a Bringer work, or you can recreate an Anapu work, or whoever their other creators are available. Which way we go? Oh, right. No matter what happens, we're going right here, okay? We'll have a look at the rail later, but we'll carry on and we'll do a little road over rail. Look at the standards, though. Look at 2019 standards. You can see why. Okay, we've got a little bit of non-terrain conforming going on there, but whatever's. The standards by 2019 standards were way above what anybody else was doing, and even by today's standards, I would say this map is right up there. Beautiful works. We'll follow the road around towards the start square. A merging rail over road, beautifully done as well. And then there we go. We have made it. That is lovely. Lovely. Does feel like smallish Grid City to me, or medium-sized Grid City. When you get all of this open space with no boundaries to work with, it stinks of build a grid. You know, now it's not necessarily a bad thing especially if you want to build a grid city, if you come from a grid city area, but yeah, if you're not, then you might have to come up with your own creative. I was looking for a rectangular chaos there. Of course, there wasn't any. Yeah, gotta look at your. You don't need the map to tell you how to form a different shape, but it's nice to be inspired by the map to do that different shape. Again, over here. Now, I see over here we've got some sort of quarry, and this is we found our floating logs and rocks. Okay, yeah, we knew they would turn up eventually. Right, so clearly we've got some felled trees here as well. So this is the quarry, and what I'm really liking about this is it's clearly oversized. It's ridiculously big for a quarry. But not if you want to do quarry industries. You need room. You can't do a city build with an ore area and just have it as a little chiseled out quarry area. This, for playability, is absolutely on point. It feels great, and I'm loving actually that we have the trees, thick forests around it, meaning you can separate this area from your city visually and still make it work really well indeed. Plus we have the rail coming right into the heart of it, meaning that you can very easily use this for your freight. Rail is excellent. Look, this is just excellent. It's going to be excellent. A little bit of game lag. Sorry. Never know when the game lag's going to happen. I'm loving that it's elevated here, then goes through the heart of this hill, emerges out the other side of the hill, goes into a bridge, and then comes out, and it's at the perfect height and level for this junction. I mean, it's bordering on spectacular by today's standards. Little rail line going off this way. Where is that? Oh, that emerges off there and goes off towards the edge of the map via that route. And then this one heads off through the map this way. We get a little junction there with the rail going off in two directions. I have no idea where they're going. Either side of this big swathe of trees. Big hill here as well. Saying big hill, it's not even that big. And that's the thing. there are many lesser map makers, and I would put myself into that category, especially with my first map, Merrickstowe, where you just kind of feel that you look at your hill, you make a hill, and it doesn't feel big enough. That is not a very big hill in the grand scheme of things, and yet it feels really foreboding and really impressive, and you've got to build around it, because as much with the tree work, which emphasizes that it is actually a hill that you don't want to mess with. I mean, you probably chisel in some of the way into the forests, but it still feels like a tree you're going to work around rather than, sorry, a hill you're going to work around rather than anything else. We got the rivers. In fact, the shape, we got harbours. I haven't even got to the harbours. The rivers, we've got one that heads down to sort of a wetlandy area here, and then from the same kind of a spawn point up there in the hills as well, another one that goes right through the heart of the map. Really nice, really very, very nice. Let's come and have a look at these upland rivers, shall we? Might even be some nice little waterfalls or something. Oh, it's just nice, isn't it? And look as we head up here. Just when you think there's not going to be anything more to ooh and ah at, you get that, and you want to ooh and ah at it. About over here, again, upland rivers, absolutely fine, good and strong, and then that follows down under the bridge and down and through the middle. In fact, look at this. I just noticed this. This probably the old route of the river. Maybe we've got fake tunnels allowing the water through these ways, or maybe these are just lakes, remnants of the old water system coming through that way. Very nice, very, very subtle, very nice. Love it. Let's check these harbours while we're over this way. We've got just some pre-cuts. Just some pre-cuts. You can ignore them, you can work with them. They're clean, they're expansive enough to be able to make good use of, or you can just ignore them. Of course, you could just ignore them. And then over here, some big old vanilla bridges, because everybody loves a big old bridge. Again, perfectly done as well. I'm gonna say I'm surprised by how well this map has held up given its age. The amount of maps that we've seen of this kind of age where you look at it and you go, yeah, it's not quite as good as I remember it once was. This one is spectacular in how well it has held up. ZOSO has the magic. I'm gonna park the camera. Just try to find somewhere nice. So, there you go. I'm just going to do that. That's the best we can do. Get the rivers in there, get the hills in the background, plenty of forestry. It's a beautiful map. Well done, ZOSO. Astraios, the 11th best map of all time. And that, with a 94.75% approval rating, is the last map that we're going to be seeing that is not in the top 10. Because that's how numbers work. So anyway, thank you very much for making it to the end of the show. Thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing, and for being around for another show. Join me next week, and of course join me this weekend for Cities Skylines 2 o'clock and the chart show. And then next week for more of this, because it's lovely, I'll tell you. So big shout out to the BonBon buddies over on Patreon and YouTube membership for supporting the channel. You guys are the very, very best. Love you very, very much. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.